Or, ladies and gentlemen, have you ever felt the sting of loss, the emptiness when someone you care about drifts away? Perhaps it's a friend, a partner, or someone who once meant everything. And in that moment, you ask yourself, will she ever come back? When we face the uncertainty of someone leaving our lives, or it's natural to feel a rush of emotions, sadness, longing, even panic. The instinct is often to chase, to plead, or to try to fix what feels broken. But the truth is, or the most powerful and effective response isn't found in chasing someone else. It's found within yourself. Focusing on yourself first is not selfish, or it is the cornerstone of genuine transformation and ultimately the path that can draw someone back into your life naturally. Or focusing on yourself means turning your attention inward, assessing who you are and asking a critical question, or am I the best version of myself? This isn't about blaming yourself for what went wrong, nor is it about creating an artificial version of who you think they want. Or it's about self-awareness and self-improvement. It's about recognizing your strengths and weaknesses, embracing your flaws, and actively working to become the person you aspire to be. The process begins with habits, small, intentional actions that compound over time. Or physical health is often overlooked, yet it is foundational. Eating well, exercising, and caring for your body not only improve your energy and appearance, but also boost confidence and mental clarity. Equally important is mental and emotional health, or practices like journaling, meditation, or even talking to a trusted friend or mentor can help you process emotions constructively rather than letting them fester. Or emotional resilience is magnetic. It shows that you can handle life's challenges with grace, which is far more attractive than desperation or dependence. Or personal growth also involves pursuing your passions and interests, whether it's a career goal, a creative endeavor, or learning a new skill, or dedicating time to something that excites and challenges you creates purpose and fulfillment. When you focus on yourself, or you stop measuring your worth by someone else's presence or absence. Instead, your value comes from the life you are actively building, or passion and purpose radiate outward in ways that are impossible to ignore. People are naturally drawn to those who have direction and ambition because it signals vitality, or confidence and independence. Self-focus also means setting boundaries and learning the power of patience. It can be tempting to constantly check in, send messages, or try to control outcomes. Yet growth cannot occur under pressure or anxiety. By stepping back, respecting your own needs, and giving space to the other person, or you demonstrate strength and maturity. This pause isn't a surrender. It's a signal that you respect yourself enough not to compromise your well-being, and it creates an environment where authentic reconnection is possible. Another crucial aspect is self-love. Loving yourself isn't about ego or arrogance, or it's about acceptance, forgiveness, and kindness toward your own being. When you nurture yourself, acknowledge your worth, and stop seeking validation from someone else, or you cultivate a form of energy that naturally attracts. This self-generated positivity acts as a magnet. People are drawn to light, not shadows. Or focusing on yourself first is a transformative journey. Or it shifts your mindset from how do I get them back to how do I become someone worth returning to? When you prioritize your growth, health, passions, or an emotional resilience, you no longer live in reaction to absence or loss. Instead, you thrive independently, and in doing so, you create the conditions for authentic or lasting reconnection. The change isn't superficial, it's deep, meaningful, and sustainable. By investing in yourself, you not only reclaim your power, but also set the stage for someone to come back naturally, drawn to the confident, fulfilled, and radiant person you have become. Or when someone you care about drifts away, the first instinct is often to chase, to send messages, to call repeatedly, to try to convince them to stay or return. Or this urge comes from a natural place of attachment and desire, but ironically, chasing someone almost always has the opposite effect. Or it can push them further away and create an energy of desperation that is deeply unattractive. Stopping the chase doesn't mean giving up. It means reclaiming your power or dignity and focus. And it is one of the most transformative steps you can take, not only for the relationship, but for yourself. Chasing stems from fear. the fear of loss or the fear of being alone, and the fear that you are not enough on your own. When we operate from fear, our actions are reactive rather than intentional, constantly reaching out or seeking reassurance or trying to force a connection signals insecurity and neediness. It communicates that your happiness depends entirely on someone else, or rather than coming from within. This is not the foundation of a healthy, lasting connection. People are naturally drawn to confidence, stability, and independence. Or when you stop chasing, you signal that you respect yourself and your life, and that creates a magnetic shift in the dynamic. Or stopping the chase begins with creating space, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. It means resisting the urge to check in constantly, to analyze every detail, or to anticipate their next move. Instead, you redirect that energy toward yourself, your growth, your goals, and your passions. This is not avoidance, it is active or intentional self-investment. By focusing on your own path, you demonstrate strength and self-sufficiency. People notice when someone has a full, meaningful life, or an absence often creates perspective. When you stop chasing, you allow the other person to reflect, to miss your presence, and to consider what they truly want. Or equally important is managing your mindset. Chasing is often fueled by anxiety and overthinking. If I don't act now, I'll lose them forever. To stop this cycle, or you must replace fear with faith, not necessarily faith in the other person, but faith in yourself and in the process of life. Trust that the universe, timing, and your own growth will guide outcomes. This doesn't mean passivity. It means patience, discernment, and restraint. Or true confidence comes from knowing your worth and refusing to compromise your integrity in an attempt to control someone else's feelings or decisions. Or stopping the chase also involves establishing clear boundaries. Boundaries are a declaration of self-respect. They communicate that while you care about someone, or you will not sacrifice your emotional stability, self-esteem, or personal growth to chase validation. This clarity often transforms relationships. When you step back, or you allow space for authentic reconnection, the other person can return voluntarily, not because of pressure, but because they recognize your value, your independence, and the life you are building for yourself. Furthermore, stopping the chase is liberating. It allows you to reclaim energy that was previously spent on worry, doubt, and relentless pursuit. You can redirect that energy toward experiences that enrich your life, relationships that uplift you, and passions that ignite your soul. In doing so, you become more magnetic, not through force, but through authenticity and presence. People are drawn to confidence, stability, and inner peace. And chasing rarely exudes any of these qualities. Stopping the chase is about shifting your perspective from desperation to empowerment. It's about understanding that love or respect and connection cannot be forced. They must be earned naturally through presence, growth, and authenticity. By letting go of the need to control or manipulate outcomes, you open the door for genuine reconnection. When you stop chasing, you reclaim your dignity, cultivate self-respect, and create the conditions for meaningful, lasting bonds. The person you hope will come back will do so, not because you pursued them relentlessly, but because you allowed yourself to become someone they truly want to be with, whole or confident and complete on your own. Becoming your best version is one of the most powerful transformations you can undertake, not just for relationships, but for life itself. It is a conscious choice to stop settling, to stop comparing yourself to others, and to commit fully to the person you were always capable of becoming. This process isn't about perfection or trying to meet someone else's expectations. It's about self-discovery, growth, and embodying the qualities that make you confident, fulfilled, and magnetic. When you focus on becoming your best version, you naturally attract people and opportunities that resonate with your energy. The first step in this journey is self-awareness. You need to know who you are, not just in terms of your strengths, but also your weaknesses and areas for growth. Self-awareness allows you to identify habits, behaviors, or attitudes that may have limited your potential or hindered your relationships in the past. It requires honesty or reflection and a willingness to face uncomfortable truths. This introspection is not about self-criticism, or it's about understanding where you can improve and taking responsibility for your growth. Awareness is the foundation of change. It illuminates the path forward. Or once you've identified areas for growth, action becomes critical. Becoming your best version requires consistent effort. This can take many forms: physical health, or mental clarity, emotional resilience, skills development, or nurturing creativity. Investing in yourself daily creates momentum. Small, deliberate actions accumulate over time, and before long, the changes become visible not only to yourself, but to the world around you. Regular exercise, healthy eating, and adequate rest strengthen your body and mind, or while reading, learning new skills, and pursuing hobbies expand your intellect and perspective. Emotional growth comes from practices such as journaling, meditation, or seeking mentorship, helping you process experiences with maturity and insight. Or becoming your best version also means cultivating qualities that enhance your relationships and interactions. Kindness, empathy, patience, and integrity are not just moral ideals, they are traits that make you magnetic to others. Confidence is equally important, but true confidence doesn't come from ego, it comes from competence, self-respect, and the quiet assurance that you are growing into your fullest potential. Or people are drawn to those who have a strong sense of self and a clear direction in life. When you radiate positivity, resilience, and authenticity, you create an environment where connections flourish naturally. Another crucial aspect is pursuing purpose and passion. A fulfilling life is not built around waiting for someone else to return. It is built around creating meaning and joy in your own experiences. Or whether it's advancing in your career, mastering a craft, volunteering, or following creative pursuits, purpose gives your life direction and excitement. Passion is contagious. When you immerse yourself in activities that energize you, you become inspiring to others, including the person you hope will come back. They will not return to a version of you that is stagnant or unfulfilled, but to someone who is thriving, growing, and fully alive. Becoming your best version also requires patience and consistency. Transformation is rarely instantaneous. It demands daily commitment, resilience in the face of setbacks, and the courage to keep going even when progress feels slow. The journey itself teaches valuable lessons: discipline, self-love, and the power of persistence. It is through this steady, intentional growth that you build a life worth sharing, a life that naturally attracts meaningful relationships rather than forcing them. Becoming your best version is about embodying your full potential. It is about living with purpose, confidence, and authenticity. When you focus on self-improvement, you stop seeking validation from others and start radiating an energy that draws people to you naturally. You become the kind of person that others are inspired to be around, not through manipulation or effort, but simply because you are fully yourself. Becoming your best version is not just a goal, it is a lifestyle, and it is one of the most powerful ways to transform both your life and your relationships. Patience is one of the most underrated yet powerful qualities when it comes to personal growth, relationships, and life in general. In a world that constantly pushes us toward instant gratification, immediate results, and quick fixes, patience often feels counterintuitive. We live in an age where waiting is considered a weakness, yet the truth is that patience is the bridge between effort and reward, growth and transformation, separation and reunion. When someone you care about has distanced themselves or walked away, patience becomes essential, not as a passive resignation, but as an active intentional practice that demonstrates self-control, wisdom, and emotional strength. Practicing patience begins with perspective. When we are eager for someone to return, it is easy to interpret every delay or lack of communication as rejection, indifference, or failure. But patience requires stepping back back and understanding that life, emotions, and relationships follow their own natural rhythms. Not everything can be rushed or forced. By adopting a long-term perspective, or you allow yourself to see that timing is a crucial factor in meaningful connections. The person you hope will come back may need time to reflect, grow, or recognize what truly matters. Trying to accelerate this process through pressure or constant pursuit often leads to frustration and disappointment. Patience, however, allows the natural flow of events to take place, creating the conditions for authentic reconnection. Patience also involves emotional regulation, it requires resisting the impulse to react impulsively to every thought, feeling, or situation. When someone is absent or distant, the mind tends to spiral into anxiety or overthinking or self-doubt. Practicing patience means acknowledging your emotions without letting them control your actions. Or it means choosing to respond with calmness rather than urgency, with confidence rather than insecurity. This emotional stability is magnetic. It signals maturity, self-respect, and resilience, qualities that are far more attractive than desperation or impulsive attempts to regain attention. Another vital aspect of patience is consistent self-investment. While waiting for the right timing, you are not idle. Patience works hand in hand with action. It gives you the space to focus on self-growth, personal goals, and meaningful pursuits without being consumed by impatience or longing. Every step you take toward improving your life, whether it's developing skills, enhancing your health, or nurturing your passions, becomes a building block for the person you are becoming. This approach transforms patience from passive waiting into active preparation. The person you hope will return will not come back to someone stagnant or desperate, but to someone who is thriving, confident, and fully engaged with life. Patience is also a test of faith in yourself, in others, and in the process of life. It requires trust that things will unfold in their own time, that efforts made now will yield meaningful outcomes later, and that personal growth and emotional strength cannot be rushed. Faith does not mean inaction, it means believing in the value of waiting while continuing to take deliberate, purposeful steps forward. This balance between action and waiting is what creates the conditions for true, lasting reconnection. Patience fosters empathy and understanding. When you allow time and space, you gain the ability to see situations from multiple perspectives. You can understand why someone might have distanced themselves, and you can reflect on your own role in the dynamic without judgment. This clarity often leads to healthier interactions when reconnection occurs, because decisions and feelings are approached from maturity rather than urgency. Patience is essential because it empowers you to act with wisdom rather than impulse, it strengthens your character, enhances your self-respect, and allows life to unfold naturally. In relationships, patience demonstrates confidence, resilience, and emotional intelligence, qualities that draw people in rather than push them away. By practicing patience, you create the space for growth, clarity, and meaningful reconnection. Waiting becomes not a burden, but a powerful tool in the journey of becoming your best self and fostering relationships that are authentic, lasting, and deeply rewarding. Loving yourself is one of the most powerful and transformative practices you can ever embrace. It is the foundation for personal growth, emotional resilience, and meaningful relationships. In a world that constantly teaches us to seek validation from others, to compare ourselves to unrealistic standards, and to measure our worth based on external approval, self-love can feel foreign, even selfish. But the truth is that genuine self-love is neither vanity nor arrogance. It is the recognition of your inherent worth, the commitment to care for yourself, and the decision to treat yourself with the kindness, respect, and compassion you deserve. Loving yourself begins with acceptance. Acceptance means acknowledging who you are, with all your strengths and weaknesses, successes and failures. It's about facing your flaws without judgment and celebrating your unique qualities without hesitation. Too often, people focus on what they perceive as shortcomings, comparing themselves to others or dwelling on mistakes. self-love shifts that focus inward, or teaching you to embrace your individuality and recognize that you are enough exactly as you are. Acceptance does not mean complacency, or it means starting from a place of respect for yourself, which then fuels the desire to grow and improve. Self-love also involves setting boundaries. When you love yourself, or you understand the importance of protecting your energy, your time, and your well-being, you stop tolerating negativity, disrespect, or manipulation from others, and you learn to say no when necessary. Boundaries are an act of self-respect. They communicate to others and to yourself that your worth is non-negotiable. Or by establishing clear limits, you create an environment where your emotional health can flourish, and you model the kind of treatment you expect from others. Or this practice not only strengthens your self-esteem, but also attracts people who value and respect you. Another essential aspect of loving yourself is nurturing your mind, body, and spirit. Taking care of your physical health through exercise, nutrition, and rest is an expression of self-respect. Cultivating mental clarity through reflection, meditation, or learning strengthens your ability to navigate challenges with resilience. Engaging in activities that bring joy, fulfillment, and purpose nourishes your soul and reinforces the message that your happiness matters. Self-love is an ongoing or active practice. It requires daily choices that honor your well-being and your growth. Loving yourself also means forgiving yourself. We all make mistakes, experience failures, and encounter moments of regret. Holding on to guilt or self-criticism undermines our ability to grow and radiate confidence. Self-love encourages you to learn from your experiences, release the past, and embrace the lessons they provide. Forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, it is a declaration that you are worthy of compassion, understanding, and peace regardless of your imperfections. Perhaps most importantly, self-love shifts the source of your validation inward. When you love yourself, you no longer rely on others to define your worth, provide approval, or dictate your happiness. Your confidence and joy stem from your own acknowledgement of your value and your commitment to nurturing it. This inner strength is magnetic. It draws people to you naturally, not through force or manipulation, but because they are attracted to someone who radiates authenticity, confidence, and contentment. Loving yourself is a lifelong journey of growth, acceptance, and care. It empowers you to live intentionally, to make choices that align with your values, and to create a life that reflects your worth. By loving yourself, you not only improve your own well-being, but you also cultivate the ability to attract meaningful relationships, navigate challenges with resilience, and inspire those around you. Self-love is the foundation for everything else in life. It is the key to happiness, confidence, and authentic connection. When you truly love yourself, you become the person capable of receiving love, respect, and admiration from the world and from those who matter most to you. Absence is often seen as a threat in relationships, a sign of distance, disconnection, or loss. When someone steps away or time is spent apart, it's natural to feel anxious or uncertain or even desperate to bridge the gap. Yet, absence does not have to weaken a bond. In fact, when approached with perspective, patience, and growth, absence can actually strengthen relationships, deepen understanding, and increase appreciation. The key lies in how we use the time apart and the mindset we bring to it. Absence creates space for reflection, self-discovery, and emotional clarity. When we are constantly together with someone, it is easy to take them for granted or to fall into patterns of expectation and familiarity, distance interrupts those patterns and allows both parties to reflect on the relationship, their feelings, and the qualities they value in one another. This reflection is essential because it provides perspective. It helps people recognize the significance of the bond and what makes it meaningful, which can foster deeper emotional connection when reunions occur. Time apart also encourages growth both individually and collectively. Relationships thrive when both people are evolving, not when they remain stagnant. Absence provides the opportunity to focus on self-improvement, pursue personal goals, and cultivate passions without distraction or compromise. by growing individually, each person becomes stronger, more confident, and more fulfilled, or which in turn enriches the relationship. When people return from periods of absence, they bring new experiences, insights, or an energy that deepen the connection rather than weaken it. Another important aspect of absence is the cultivation of appreciation, or human beings often value what is always present the least. When someone is temporarily absent, it allows their qualities, presence, and impact to be recognized more fully, or absence highlights the unique contributions each person brings to the relationship, making reunions more meaningful and interactions more intentional. Or appreciation deepens respect and gratitude, two foundational pillars for lasting and fulfilling bonds. Absence also builds resilience and trust, or relationships that endure separation demonstrate the capacity to withstand challenges, uncertainty, and external pressures. Or time apart requires faith in the bond and confidence that emotional connections do not need constant validation to remain strong. This trust, once developed, or becomes a cornerstone of the relationship. It reinforces the understanding that love, care, and commitment are not measured by proximity, but by mutual respect, communication, and consistency over time. Absence fosters communication, quality over quantity. When distance limits interaction, it encourages more thoughtful, intentional, and meaningful exchanges. People learn to express themselves clearly, listen attentively, and value the moments they share. Or this quality of communication strengthens emotional intimacy, making connections richer and more fulfilling. Rather than being weighed down by constant presence, the relationship becomes a dynamic of choice, attention, and conscious engagement. Absence strengthens bonds by highlighting personal independence, it allows each person to maintain identity, autonomy, and self-sufficiency within the context of a relationship. Independence is not separation, it is empowerment. It prevents codependency, encourages self-confidence, and ensures that when people reunite, they are whole individuals contributing fully to the bond rather than relying on it to fill voids. Absence, when embraced with patience, self-growth, and perspective, does not weaken relationships, it strengthens them. It teaches reflection, encourages appreciation, deepens trust, fosters communication, and cultivates independence. By valuing the time apart as a tool for growth and understanding, bonds become more resilient, intentional, and fulfilling. Absence proves that connections rooted in authenticity, respect, and self-awareness are not defined by constant presence, but by the strength, quality, and depth of the emotional ties that endure across distance. When approached wisely, absence is not a threat. It is a catalyst for stronger, more meaningful, and lasting relationships.